What if you're still streaming quarterback and tight end and you need to pick the right guy to help you get by to the championship, hopefully? Don't worry, got you covered. As always, let's give my top 3 quarterback and tight end waiver wire pickups for week 15 right now, starting with number 3 at quarterback. Phillip Rivers is still out there, and you know what? This is a great spot to stream him. Now, I know that he didn't have his biggest game last week, 244 yards, pair of touchdowns. I mean, that's okay. That'll get you by. But you have to realize they did not need to pass the ball in that game. They were in control. Jonathan Taylor, of course, doing what we expected Jonathan Taylor to do back in the preseason. But the good news is coming into week 15, he gets the Houston Texans. You saw what happened to the Houston Texans. Mitch Trubisky was tearing them up. That's right. Mitch Trubisky throwing 3 touchdowns early on and just offering no resistance. Phillip Rivers has been consistent. He's going to give you that nice, safe floor. I keep saying it every week. At least 2 touchdowns passing for 4 straight games. He had been on a roll with at least 285 passing yards until this week for 4 straight games, but 244 yards. It's not bad. But you know what? He is not going to hurt you. He has a really high floor, especially against this defense. So Phillip Rivers, as safe as you can get. Derek Carr is my number 2 pick. And you know what? Derek Carr does sometimes have his ups and downs, but it's been all up lately ever since that embarrassing game against the Atlanta Falcons where they lost and he was just a train wreck. He's bounced back super strong, 381 yards and 3 touchdowns next game. I know it was the Jets, but still 316 yards and a pair of touchdowns this last game. So he has come back fired up. This is a team still fighting to make the playoffs. You know what? Josh Jacobs not 100%, so they're going to have to lean on Carr and his arm a little bit more, and facing the Chargers, which I mean, it's a team that they actually showed a little bit of fight, at least this last week, coming back from behind. But still, Chargers not a defense to be scared of. So Carr is my number 2 pick. He is pretty much solid as Rivers, but a little bit higher floor. But number 1, if you feel like taking a chance, let's see if Jalen Hurts can do it again. Jalen Hurts obviously going to be the most interesting name out there. It was a terrible matchup against the Saints, and it didn't matter. The Saints were a team hadn't given up a 100-yard rushing game forever. They gave one up not to just Miles Sanders, who had broke off that big run, but Jalen Hurts got 100 yards on the ground himself. Now, he didn't do a whole lot through the air, less than 200 yards passing, but if you're going to get 100 yards rushing, as we've seen with players like Lamar Jackson, it doesn't matter. And now he gets to face the Arizona Cardinals, which are obviously a lesser defense. It turns out so far they've allowed the 5th most rushing yards to quarterbacks. I know that to some extent that just has to do with who they've matched up against, but still, this is going to be a better matchup for Hurts. He's got a game under his belt. Eagles are feeling good. If you feel good about Jalen Hurts, you roll him out there. The ceiling for him, we don't even know what it is yet. Now, before I get to my tight ends, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We got these waiver wire videos and start sit each and every week to help you win. All right, let's get to tight end number 3. Number 3, a new name here, someone that's a deep sleeper for sure. But again, you're streaming tight ends, you're hoping for a touchdown probably. Adam Shaheen might be the guy that gets it for you. Mike Gesicki scored twice this past week. He's been one of the better tight ends in the league, but that arm injury did not look good. There's a definite chance that he does not play in week 15. Adam Shaheen is not just next in line at tight end for the Dolphins, but it's interesting, even this whole season with Gesicki playing healthy, Adam Shaheen has been one of the leading target getters in the end zone as far as tight ends. That's right. Adam Shaheen has 5 targets inside the 5-yard line this year. The only tight ends who've done that more often are TJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller, and Jonnu Smith. That's a pretty good list. And so you're figuring there's a really good chance he gets targeted where it counts and gets a touchdown. He's already got a couple touchdowns on the year. There's a definite great chance that he gets a touchdown. And the Patriots, of course, have a great secondary. They're going to lock down whoever's playing at wide receiver for the Dolphins these days. Shaheen will probably have a chance to get open in the back of the end zone, of course, assuming the Dolphins get that far. Number 2 at tight end, I'm sticking with Jordan Reed. I know that we feel like he's been letting us down. Last couple weeks hasn't done much. But if you heard me talk about this on the wide receiver episode, Deebo Samuel is going to be out almost for sure because that hamstring injury has been bothering him. Could shut him down multiple games, maybe the rest of the season. Who knows? George Kittle's still not back, but Jordan Reed is going to be targeted. Going against Dallas, of course, we know Dallas's defense is nothing to be scared about. It's obviously it's going to be a little bit of a risk if you're going to trust Jordan Reed to suddenly emerge. Thought it was a great spot for him against Washington, his old team last week, and he didn't come through. But still, there are few tight ends with the receiving ability and the opportunity of Jordan Reed. But my number one pick is a guy I've been high on all year and just glad to see him healthy again. Irv Smith. Would have loved to recommend him as a second half sleeper, but then he missed a couple of games. Well, now they switched. It turns out that Kyle Rudolph is the one who was hurt and missing the game. And Irv Smith came back and immediately contributed 4 catches, 63 yards, and a score. And much to the disappointment of everybody who started Adam Thielen and or Justin Jefferson, he outproduced both of those receivers. So take that for what it's worth. Now, he's not going to do that each and every week, but still, it's interesting to see Smith so involved. He is one of the higher end tight ends who has more of a receiver build. They drafted him not to be a blocking tight end, but to catch the ball. They're utilizing him. If Rudolph is out again, he's got a great matchup with the Bears, who I know you think, well, the Bears just crushed and shut down the Texans, but the Bears also allow the 4th most fantasy points per game to tight ends. Jordan Akins had a touchdown, right? The tight end for Houston, he had a touchdown. It just dropped right off his hands. It was a terrible drop. If you watch the highlight, you'll see that he should have had a score. There's a good chance Irv Smith does something in that game. I like him as my number one tight end streamer of week 15. All right, guys, thanks for watching.